Hello and welcome to this session of Age Well Yoga. In this 60-minute session of yoga, we're going to be matching our breath with the poses and our movements to create union in our bodies, in our physical, our intellectual, emotional and spiritual bodies. And the theme for today's class is non-stealing, not to steal. Well, obviously we all have that as, or lots of people have that as a principle, and it's a very strong principle in yoga. And it extends not just to nicking things, which is how we sort of think of that normally, so not stealing like that, it is that, but it's also not stealing people's time, not stealing energy from other people, so soaking up energy from other people, and it's also not stealing time or focus on yourself. So there's an aspect to it which is being generous to yourself. And so today, while we're going through the poses, I encourage you to be generous to yourself, to give yourselves time to do things and to do things at your own pace. We'll get started today sitting in Sukhasana, easy seat, cross-legged. So sitting in easy seat, cross-legged on the floor, just look around your surroundings and make sure that you've landed after a busy day, busy time. Just become present in your space. Notice your sit bones connecting to the earth. Sitting nice and tall in your seat. You might like to imagine there's a golden thread attached to the top of your crown, the crown of your head, stretching up to the sky, creating space in your spine. Have your hands relaxed in your lap or on your knees. And just gently start to focus on your breath. Notice the inhale and exhale, the air coming in and out of your nostrils. And as you notice your breath, start to lengthen your exhales. And as you exhale, drop your shoulders away from your ears. On your inhale, notice how your body expands, abdomen, chest and shoulders. And on your exhale, relax down your shoulders. Inhale and expanding. And exhaling, relaxing down, sinking deeper into the earth on your sit bones. Inhaling, feeling the length through your spine, and exhaling, relaxing down. Have your hands next to you on your mat, palms up. Inhale and stretch your arms out to the side, up overhead, palms facing. Palms together and exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, stretching out to the side, hands up above your head, palms facing. And exhale, palms, hands to heart center. Inhale, stretching your arms out to the side, up above your head, palms together, exhale, hands to heart center. Wonderful. This time changing it up, inhaling, stretching out to the side, palms overhead, and exhale, putting your right hand down on the mat and leaning over to the right, pointing your left hand to the right. Left upper arm is by your ear, looking forward. And just pressing your left sit bones into the earth and feeling the expansion through your left side body. Take a couple of breaths here. Inhale, stretch both arms up to center. And exhale, drop your left hand to the left and the right arm comes over your right ear, right hand pointing to the left. Stretching through your right side body. Inhale, stretching up. Hands facing each other. Exhale, looking to the right, drop your left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. Gentle twist to the right, looking over your right shoulder. On your inhale, your spine stretches up. Exhale, looking over your shoulder, twisting a little further. Inhale, stretching up. And exhale, looking over your shoulder. Inhale, come back to center, palms up above your head, stretching up. And exhale, right hand to left knee, left hand drops behind you, looking over your left shoulder. Inhale as you stretch up and find length. And exhale, soften and twist. Being kind to yourself, being generous. One more inhale and exhale. Inhale, stretching your arms up and looking to center. Palms together and hands to heart center as you exhale. Inhale, stretching your hands out to the side, up overhead, palms facing. And exhale, sweep your hands down to the back, round the back, fingers facing away from you, palms flat on the ground. And squeeze your elbows together, your shoulder blades together, stretching through the front body, and look up at the ceiling without locking your neck back. Stretching your chin up to the sky. Take a deep breath through that expansive chest. And exhale. On your next inhale, stretch your arms out to the side, up overhead, and exhale, leaning forward. Place your hands on the ground in front of you. On the inhale, just stretch your head and chest forward. And on the exhale, just soften down. Soften your chest down towards your feet, head towards the mat, chin towards your chest. Take a couple of breaths here in this forward fold. On your next inhale, stretch your arms out and up, palms together and hands to heart center. Wonderful. Coming into tabletop position. Let's remove your cushion if you had one. Knees under your hips and wrists under your shoulders. In tabletop, pressing into your knuckles, your fingertips to take the weight off your wrists, and it's as though you're actually trying to draw your thumb and little finger together. You're really sort of almost doming your hands. Crown stretches forward, tailbone stretches back, active in the core, navel towards spine. Cat-cow, inhale, draw a line up with your nose up to the sky. Drop your belly towards the mat, hips to the sky. And exhale, tucking in your chin, navel to spine, tucking in your tail for cat. Inhale for cow, shining your heart space forward. And exhale for cat. Pushing the earth away with your hands. Rounding through the back. Couple more in your own time. Inhaling for cow. And when you're ready, exhaling for cat. . And when you've done that, come back to neutral spine. Tailbone stretches back, crown stretches forward. Inhale. On your inhale, stretch your right hand forward and arm forward, palm facing to the left. Stretch your left leg back, tucking in your toes. Just feel that diagonal stretch through your body from your left heel all the way to your right fingertips. Just hold it for a few more counts and relax it down. Other side. Inhale, stretch your left arm forward, palm facing to the right, and stretch your right foot back, tucking in your toes and stretching from your right heel all the way through to your left fingers. Just feel that lovely stretch. Hold it for a couple more seconds. And exhale, return your hand and knee to the mat. Wonderful. And just kneel up for a minute. If your wrists are sore, just give them a circle. Circle them back and forth. Tabletop's very good for people who spend time on a computer. It's activating your wrists differently, but it might make them sore. If you don't do that, gripping through the fingers, pressing into your fingertips. Back to tabletop. We'll prepare for threading the needle. So inhale and stretch your right arm out to the side, taking up space, and then point it towards the ceiling. And exhale, bringing it back down to the mat. Left side, inhale, left arm stretches out, up to the ceiling, and back to the mat. This time, inhale, right hand stretches out, up to the ceiling, looking at your hand if you want to. And then exhale, thread your right hand under your left arm, palm up, and then place your right hand on the ground, right shoulder on the ground, right ear on the ground. Threading your needle. If you'd like a further stretch, you can put your left hand at the top left corner of your mat. Feel that stretch in your shoulder, through your hips. If you've moved it, return your left hand under your face. Inhale and unwind, stretching your right arm out to the side, up to the ceiling, and then returning it down to the mat on exhale. Just make sure you're back in your tabletop position. And we'll go to the left side. Inhale, stretching your left arm out to the side, up to the ceiling. And then exhale as you thread your left hand under your right arm, palm faces up, left hand on the mat, left shoulder on the mat, left ear on the mat. You might like to stretch your right arm forward so the hand is close to the top corner, right hand corner of your mat. Take a few breaths here. You can play with rolling over a little bit further on your left shoulder, looking under your right arm. Return your right hand under your face if you moved it. Press into your right hand as you inhale. Stretch your left hand out to the side, facing the ceiling, and then down to the mat. Well done. Good work. Fantastic. All right. Pressing through our hands into our fingertips, our knuckles, tucking in our toes. Inhale. And on your exhale, send your hips up to the sky for the first downward dog of the day. So walk your dog, so bend your right knee in, left heel to the mat, towards the mat, and then alternate. Left knee comes in, right heel towards the mat. So walking your dog, just stretching out your hamstrings. Have a gentle bend in your knees if that's what's comfortable for you. And then settle in your downward dog. Heels disappear behind your feet. hips up to the sky, stretch them up, chest and forehead looking towards the mat, shoulders away from the ears and the elbow crease is shining forward, so twist your elbows so they're shining forward and that creates space in your chest. On your next inhale, raise your right leg up to the sky, toes pointing to the ground. Keep your hips level with the mat. Exhale, knee to nose. Right knee in towards your nose. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, return your right foot to the floor. Left side now. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, knee to nose, left knee towards the nose, so curling the back like you do for cat. Inhale, left leg raises. Exhale, left foot to the mat. Wonderful. Now we'll go into a low lunge. So inhale, right leg raises. Exhale, bring your knee forward towards your chest, towards your nose, and then step your foot in between your hands. So your right foot is in between your hands and lower your left knee. So your right leg is in a square, your knee is over your heel, tracking towards the second and third toes. You can have your left foot toes curled, or you can have them flat on the floor, whichever serves you. If you need more balance, have your knee and your foot further apart, your left knee and your right foot further apart on the mat, so wider on the mat. Inhale, stretch your arms forward, palms facing, and then come up to vertical Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So to get your balance, act as though you're trying to get your thighs together, so scissor your thighs together, pressing down on both feet. Active through the core to protect your back. Tuck your navel to spine. Inhale and rain, and on the exhale, rain your hands down to frame your right foot. Rock back on your hips and straighten your right leg. Have your right heel on the ground and your right toes pointing towards your right shin for half splits. Still got your left hip stacked over your left knee. Track your right hip back. So you're sort of creating that stretch through your right leg. Keep your knee bent a little bit if that's more comfortable for you. Looking forward, broad through the chest. Just breathe here, being generous with yourself. Soften. You might need to unclench your jaw. And on your next inhale, bring your right foot flat on the floor. Press through both hands. Tuck in your left toes and push back into dog, downward dog. Left side. Inhale, raising your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, bring your left knee in towards your chest, towards your nose, and then step it through so it's in between your hands. So your left foot is framed by your hands. Drop your right knee to the ground. Your left knee is in a square, knee over ankle. Pressing into the left foot and your right foot. Inhale, stretch your arms out in front of you, palms facing, and then come up to vertical Anjaneyasana on the left side. Navel to spine. Use a focal point in front of you to keep your balance. And notice on the inhale how you can stretch up through your side body, through your shoulders, through your waist. And on your exhale, notice how you can ground through the bottom half of your body, your feet, your knees, your thighs, your hips. On the next inhale, stretch up, and then exhale, rain your hands down to frame your left foot. Inhale as you push back your hands, bring your left knee back under you for tabletop. Tuck your toes, inhale, and on the exhale come back to downward dog, and then walk your feet towards your hands. Ragdoll. Grab opposite elbows with your hands, have a generous bend in your knees and sway from side to side, loosening up your lower back. And then let your hands go, your arms go. Tuck your chin into your chest, and on the next inhale, gradually come up to standing, unrolling your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Until you're at standing. Circle your shoulders back a few times. Might hear a few creaks and groans. And then come forward on your mat, towards the front of your mat, into Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet can be together or up to hip width apart. Gentle bend in your knees if you like. Tail tracks towards the earth. Navel to spine, shoulders away from the ears and palms facing forward, elbow creases facing forward, creating space in the chest for our breath. Inhale, stretch your arms out to the side and up above your head, palms facing. And listening carefully, bending your knees as you exhale, chair pose, pushing your hips backwards and bending your knees. Chair pose, great exercise this for, a great pose this for strengthening our muscles in the thighs, keeping us mobile, strengthening our ankles. Inhale, stretch your arms forward a little bit more, and then exhale, fold your torso over your thighs into your first forward fold of the day. Let your hands be at either side of your feet or on your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. So have your torso parallel with the floor. Try to tuck in your shoulder blades. You might have your hands on your thighs or your shins. And exhale, forward fold again. Plant your hands either side of your feet. Inhale and bring both feet back to plank or supported plank. So knees on the mat, shoulders over your wrists. So your torso is sort of in a straight line, half like a push-up. Inhale, and on your exhale, bring your elbows next to your ribs and lower yourself down slowly to the mat. Might need to wiggle back a little bit. So you're on your mat. Have your hands under your shoulders. Tops of your feet pressing into the mat so that your knees come off the mat. Inhale for baby cobra. Just coming up, rolling up your spine a little bit. And looking forward, not up. And exhale, coming down. We'll do that one more time, pressing through the tops of your feet. Inhale, broad through the chest as you come up. Don't have too much weight in your hands. Let your back do the work. And exhale, relaxing down. Inhale, come back up to tabletop, tuck your toes, and into downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths in downward dog. Beautiful. Inhale, stretch your right leg up into the sky. Exhale, bring your right knee forward to your chest, to your nose, and then in between your hands. Have your left foot flat on the mat, 45 degrees. Your right leg is in a square. Inhale, stretch your left arm forward and then cartwheel it towards the back of your mat for warrior 2. Warrior 2, right knee stacked over right ankle, tracking towards second and third toes, pressing through the outer edge of your left foot. So your left heel through to your pinky, to your little toe, tucking in your right hip. And imagine you're being stretched, your arms are being stretched either way, looking along your right hand. Bring your hands to your hips and pivot both feet so they point towards the left hand side of your mat and are parallel. Inhale into star pose, so hands out. It's 5-pointed star because your head is also one of the points. And then exhale as you come into Malasana, goddess pose, bending both knees. So bend both knees, that's it. Tail is tracking towards the ground, hands to heart center. Goddess pose. Also very good for your thighs. Placing your hands on your lower thighs, thumbs inwards. Inhale and dip your right shoulder to the center as you look over your left shoulder. Just feel that stretch, diagonal stretch from your right hip through to your left shoulder. Inhale back to center. And exhale, dip your left shoulder, look over your right side shoulder. Inhale, back to center. Hands to heart center. And just wiggle your way up. So go from side to side until you are back into star pose. Hands stretched out. Beautiful. Now we're going to turn our left foot towards the back of the mat. Right foot at 45 degrees. Left leg is in a square and our arms are parallel with the mat. Warrior 2 on the left side. Make sure your left leg is in a square. Your back leg is at 45 degrees. And your shoulders are stacked over your hips, head over heart, looking along your left hand. Take a couple of breaths here. Inhale, put your hands on your hips, come back to center, both feet pointing to the left. And on your next inhale, stretch your crown up to the sky, bend back slightly, and then on the exhale, fold forward. So wide leg forward fold and drop your hands to the mat so your arms are straight underneath your face. On your next inhale, stretch your right arm out and up to the ceiling. And on your exhale, bring it back down under your face. Inhale, left arm goes out and up towards the sky. And exhale, left hand comes back under your face. And before we leave this position, we'll just walk our hands back so they're almost in line with our feet. Legs are straight, and we're just allowing our body to the weight of our body to fold us forward. So just do this as much as you're comfortable with your back, and keep your arms supporting your back if that's what you need. And keep your hands so you can hands can come back, and if comfortable you might be able to bend your elbows. The yogi aim is to have our heads on the floor, but that's actually just a wonderful aim. But bending your elbows is good. Let your head hang loose, relax the neck, shake the neck out. Inhale and walk your hands back so that under your face, straight arms. And then as you exhale, walk your hands back to the front so your hands frame your right foot, which is in a square. Your left foot, your left toes point forward, your left leg is straight. Inhale, push your right foot back into dog pose on the exhale. Walk your hands towards your feet for Ragdoll. Opposite hands have elbows, just hanging loose. And then again, roll up to standing vertebrae by vertebrae. And when you're up to standing, just make your way down to sitting on the mat. Dandasana staff pose. So legs can have a little bend if you like, toes pointing towards your shins, hands by your hips, fingers pointing forward, squeezing through the shoulder blades, creating space in the chest. And we find that thread, just gently allowing our crown to stretch up towards the sky. Just notice how you're feeling, notice your breath. And then bend your right knee out to the side, bring the sole of your right foot next to your left thigh. Sitting up nice and straight. Inhale, stretch your arms out to the side, up overhead, palms facing. And exhale, as you exhale, stretch forward, bending from the hips. And then allow your hands to fall towards the mat. Elbows out to the side, still looking forwards. Chest open. So your hands are either side of your left knee or your left calf. Left toes are active. So you might feel this through your right hip, your lower back. Inhale, just stretch and lengthen through the spine. And exhale, this time tuck in your chin and just soften forward over your left thigh. And as you're in this half seated forward fold, if you've got any tension anywhere, just send your breath to that point to relax the muscles. And on the inhale, stretch your chest forward, your arms forward. Come up to vertical, palms facing, and exhale, hands to heart center. Well done. And now we'll go on the other side. So your left sole of your left foot is next to your right thigh. If you have any trouble with your knees, you can always place something underneath your knees to support them. Your right leg is straight, or you might have it very slightly bent. Toes are active, so pointing towards the shin. Inhale, stretch your arms out to the side, up above your head, and then as you exhale, hinge from the hips, leading with your head and chest, keeping them open, stretching forward, and then relaxing your hands down next to your knee or your shin. If it's available to you, you might be able to grab hold of your foot. And keep your elbows out to the side to create that width through your chest. On your next inhale, stretch your head and chest forward, long through the spine. And on your exhale, soften down, chin to chest, as you fold in towards your right thigh. Relax your jaw. Inhale, stretching your arms forward, up above your head, and then hands to heart center as you exhale. Wonderful. Straightening both legs now. You might like to have a little bend in your legs, and we'll go for a full forward fold, seated forward fold. Inhaling, arms are out to the side, up above your head, stretching your torso long from the hips, and then exhale, stretching forward as you bend your torso towards your thighs. Be broad through your elbows, stretch your chest forward. Inhale and stretch forward, and exhale as you fold in, softening. So again, this is a place for not forcing, just softening. We're talking about non-stealing and about being generous with ourselves. So this is where we soften at a place that suits us. Flexibility and suppleness comes over time. It doesn't come through forcing. Stay active in your toes, toes pointing towards the shins. Inhale and stretch out to the front and up above your head. Palms are facing, and on the exhale, palms together and hands at heart center. Wonderful. Do a stretch now. So bring both feet so they're flat on the mat in front of you. Have your hands behind you to support you. Fingers pointing backwards. And just you have to vary the length of the fold in your knee. And when you're ready, just inhale and bring your right ankle over your left knee. So figure 4 sitting down basically. And your aim here is to get your right knee sort of in line with your left knee. That's an aim. Be active through your toes, so toes pointing towards your shin, and that protects your knee. You might feel this in your hips, in your knees, your thighs. And release that. Bring your right foot to the ground. And we'll go on the left side. So left ankle crosses the right knee. You might find it's different on one side to the other. Might have to move your foot further away. Have your left toes active so they're pointing towards your left shin. And see if you can track that left knee away from you a little bit. Just creating a little bit of movement in your hip socket. And relax both legs down While we're in this position, we're going to do boat pose. Boat pose has got lots of different variations, and as we were saying before, being generous with ourselves and doing what's right for us is important in this pose. So the first version is quite simple. We have our hands on our shins, straight back, so our back is on a diagonal, leaning back. So we're leaning on, we're sort of grabbing hold of our shins and leveraging our hands back. Our arms are straight, tucking in the chin, long through the crown, active in the spine. This is a preparation for boat pose. It's a very good core exercise. And release that. You can do that again, or this time you might like to put your hands under your thighs and leaning back again, so our body is vertical. Sorry, our body is diagonal, leaning back, broad across the chest, tucking in the chin, the crown shines up, and then raise one leg and then the other leg off the mat. Shins are parallel with the floor. So we'll hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then with control, put your feet back on the mat. And you might like to hug yourselves. Just fold your arms around your shins. Allow your head to drop towards your knees. And give yourself a hug just to release the back. And then we'll go with the next step of boat pose. So we have the first version, which is with our feet on the floor. That's one valid version. The other one is with our shins parallel. So you could do either of those again, or you can prepare. Our hands are still under our thighs. Body is at a diagonal. And we're active through the core. So tucking navel towards spine. Raise our shins up parallel with the floor, and then we can actually have our arms also parallel with the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then with control, putting our feet back on the mat, giving ourselves another hug. Fantastic, boat pose. And now we'll do a back bend, so lying on our mats, straight on our mats. Have your feet next to your buttocks, hip width apart. And your hands next to your thighs, palms facing down for bridge pose. Before we get into bridge pose, just roll over onto your left side slightly and tuck your right shoulder blade under you a bit further. And then roll to the right and tuck your left shoulder blade under you a little further. So you're opening through the chest. Before we actually get into bridge pose, just tuck your lower back or press your lower back into the mat, and you'll feel your tailbone lifting just slightly. So we're activating the pelvic floor to a certain extent. So with that in mind, with that back, lower back pressed into the mat, inhale and push through your heels. Bring your hips up towards the ceiling. You can press through the top of your head and your forearms into bridge pose. Stretching long through the spine. And exhale, coming down, allowing your vertebrae to come down to the mat one by one. Very controlled release. Wonderful. We'll do that one more time with a variation. Inhale, press through your heels, bring your hips up towards the ceiling, pressing through your arms. Pressing through your head. Chin is up towards the ceiling. Chest is coming up towards the ceiling. And if you feel comfortable, inhale and raise both hands up, straight hands up towards the sky, straight arms, and overhead. Palms are on the floor behind you. And on your next exhale, peel your vertebrae one by one back to the mat. Keep your arms where they are. Take a breather. And on your next inhale, press through the heels, hips towards the sky, bridge pose with arms behind your head. So you're pressing through your hips, up towards the sky, lengthening through your tail. Tail goes towards the top of your mat. And on your next inhale, stretch your arms behind you. And on the exhale, very gently lower your arms and your vertebrae back to the mat. Arms are coming down, vertebrae coming down, navel to spine. Slowly until all of your vertebrae are flat on the mat and your palms are back flat on the mat. Wonderful. Stretching your legs long. Getting comfortable on your mat. Might like to wiggle your shoulders. Inhale, have your right knee come up to your chest. Hands around your shin, right shin. And on your exhale, send your knee and your right foot back down to the mat. Inhale, bring your left knee in towards the chest, hug it tight, hands towards the shin, on the shins, tucking it tight. And then send it back long. Inhale, and on the exhale, bring both knees into the chest, hug them both in tight. You might like to rock from side to side, giving yourself a massage. And then bring both feet down to the mat, behind your buttocks, hip width apart. Send both knees towards the right, dropping them towards the right. Have your arms in a T and either look at the ceiling or look towards your left hand. Supine twist. Inhale and notice the expansion through your left lung. Front of your body, side of your body, back of your body. Relax your shoulders down to the mat. On your next inhale, tuck your navel to spine and bring your knees back to vertical and look up at the ceiling. Exhale and drop both knees to the left. Look up at the ceiling or look at your right hand, whichever serves you. Now fill up through your right lung, front of your body, side body. Notice your back body expanding as well. your spine and come back to center. And then send both legs long. Have your hands by your hips, palms up for relaxation. Make any final adjustments to make sure you're comfortable. I want you to concentrate on your toes and feet. Your toes and feet are relaxing. Ankles and calves relaxing down. Knees and thighs relaxing. Hips, pelvis area relaxing, being supported by the mat. Hands and wrists relaxing. Forearms and elbows relaxing. Upper arms and shoulders relaxing. Abdomen relaxes down. Chest relaxes. Collarbone and throat relaxes. The jaw relaxes. Draw your lips back from your teeth and then relax them in a gentle smile. Tongue relaxes down. Raise your eyebrows, stretch your scalp, and then have them relax. Eyes heavy in the sockets. Skin around your face relaxes. As the body relaxes, so the mind follows. Just notice the air coming in and out of your nostrils. And if thoughts arise, no need to react. Just let them pass like clouds in the sky. And return to your breath. This is time for you. Time to be generous with yourself. Allow yourself to relax. free to move, allow some movement into your fingers and thumbs. Move your feet and ankles. You might like to stretch long. Inviting energy into your limbs. And then curl in tight, bringing your knees towards your chest. And when you're ready, roll over to one side. And take a few breaths there. Integrating all the good work that you've done in practice today. And when you're ready, push yourself up into an easy seat. Sitting cross-legged on the floor. Hands relaxed on your knees. Sit bones connecting with the earth. Crown stretching up to the sky, creating space in your spine. Inhale, and on your exhale, bring your hands to heart center. We bow our thinking minds to our loving hearts in gratitude for practice today, in gratitude for all the people and the circumstances that brought us to our mats to practice, and in gratitude for the generosity we show ourselves and we show to others. Be well. Namaste.